Justice with Judge Mablean will be life, because in everything we do, it involves the law. You came to court to testify about what you heard, what you saw, and what you know.
She's fair.
I don't have a hearing problem. This ear works good. This one works even better.
She's firm.
I'm not responsible for that ticket, and I'm not going to pay for it.
Who says you're not going to pay for it? I make that decision, not you.
She's honest.
What you have to say?
All I have to
Nothing.
This is Justice with Judge Mablean. Bigfoot hunter Jeb Brown is suing Artemis Bagley in the amount of $642. He says the defendant broke his camera in an attempt to sabotage his investigation.
Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Mablean presiding. All parties are sworn in, Your Honor.
Thank you. You may be seated. The matter of Jeb Brown versus Artemis Bagley. You're suing him for $642 because he sabotaged your Bigfoot hunt?
That's right, Your Honor.
Ooh, educate me.
This gentleman, who I vaguely know, attacked my camera out in the forest and destroyed it, making it no longer usable for my livelihood of traveling and searching out the Yeti, the Sasquatch.
So the $642 is for a damaged camera?
A destroyed camera, Your Honor.
Destroyed, all right.
He destroyed it. I have the receipt. I have the receipt right here.
To sabotage your livelihood in the hunt for Bigfoot?
That's right. Since my childhood, Your Honor, I have traveled the Northwest. I'm native to the Northwest of this great country of ours. And when I was very young, possibly 4 or 5 years old, my papa took me out to a place near the Columbia River. And one night he awoke me, and just outside the bounds of our campfire light, he showed me Yeti standing there. And ever since...
He showed you who?
Yeti, Sasquatch. I actually laid eyes on Sasquatch.
Who is that?
Sasquatch is a humanoid being. Some people call him or her Bigfoot. They're family units that live in the Northwest and other parts of the world. They live in the deep forest. They're very shy and try to stay away from human contact. But those that are similarly sensed can experience meeting them and interacting with them, and that's what I've dedicated my entire life for.
So they're human beings?
They're humanoids. They're human being-like. They're shy, and they have no reason whatsoever to necessarily interact with us unless you are so ingrained with their experience in their life that you can find them and talk to them and be with them.
So why are you hunting them?
Because
they don't want to interact with you.
It's a very good question, Your Honor.
Because it's in the universe to do that. And nobody's done it. At least there's no reports of that. And in fact, I co-authored a book with a fellow named Dave Politis that we have sketches and pictures of, like, in the footprint. Show them
What's this?
That's the footprint of one of the Yeti that I tracked down on the very day this incident occurred.
So this footprint tells you that Bigfoot is close?
That's right. He was close within the periphery of where I went out in the forest and found him. And the other picture, Your Honor, shows a tree bend. A tree bend is what a Yeti family will do in the forest to show...
Am I holding it right?
Yes.
Or the other way?
It's this way, Your Honor. It's like an arch, Your Honor.
Oh, okay, like an arch.
It's like an arch,
okay,
like
this.
the St. Louis Arch. There you go.
Oh, okay.
Only it's in the Northwest. And
so this tells you that they're nearby?
They're nearby, and you're in their home. Oh. And properly, with etiquette, you can draw them out to interact with you. And that's exactly what I did on the night of the incident, which was a few months ago. It was April 16th, to be exact.
So where was your camera?
I brought the camera there, and I set it up because I had found those earlier in the day. And I set up my campfire, and I was hunkered in there to set up that night to interact with them.
And where was the camera set up?
The camera is set up nearby, just outside the bounds of my campfire light, and it was running, as I recall.
So what type of camera was it? On a tripod?
Yes, a tripod video. It was the best thing that I've ever been able to afford. It has a 70 millimeter by 300 millimeter lens on it. And I had set it to run for a few hours there as I was awaiting the arrival of the Yeti, or the Sasquatch.
So how did he shoot it down? I mean, how did he destroy it? How did you destroy it?
Well, I didn't destroy it, Your Honor.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
So why does he think you destroyed
Well,
it?
Your Honor, I'm also from Eureka, California, and I belong to an organization known as Saving Sasquatch. We're trying to prevent Sasquatch being harassed and interfered with by people like Mr. Brown over here, who is a Bigfoot hunter. He wants
Okay,
to...
so he wants to find Bigfoot
yeah, he wants
and
to...
hunt,
Yeah.
and you want to save...
This Bigfoot they've been around, Sasquatches have been around for millennia, and they've been doing just fine without any of our interference. We want to prevent, mankind from interfering with these, beautiful creatures, these beautiful beings. And people like Mr. Brown.
I agree with Artemis here.
Yeah, and Mr. Brown, what he
So
wants
you
to do...
agree, why are you guys at each other then?
Because he's jealous of what I've done. I've written books, I've taken pictures, I interact with these, and he has slammed me and my like that we're hunting them. We don't hunt them. All we do is take pictures.
Okay,
and
so
leave
you,
footprints.
all right, let me understand him. So you take pictures and you want to photograph them and you want to write your book and you want to do all of that stuff. He says he doesn't want you anywhere near them. He wants your organization wants you to leave them alone.
Yeah, our motto is keep Bigfoot free by any means. And so what we try to
Why
do
are you
is...
so concerned about it?
Coming up on Justice with Judge Mablean.
I heard the gentle but rapid footfalls of a human being going out through the forest, and it had...
Are you sure it wasn't Sasquatch?
Listen to me.
And later,
Joe, you have to understand, you were there and you know, you felt.
No.
You know you'd had 4 beers.
How do you know he had
And it was
4 beers?
hot.
Justice with Judge Mablean. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. We're back with the case of Jeb Brown, who is suing Artemis Bagley for the loss of personal property.
What we do is we try to thwart their goals by leaving fake footprints or, bending the trees ourselves to take them in the wrong direction. We'll answer their wood knocks.
So, in other words, you'll put a footprint down there and pretend like it's Bigfoot, so you'll lead them on a wild goose chase.
Exactly.
And you'll bend the tree and pretend like it's this.
That is something we do. What we don't do is damage people's personal property. We don't break in. There's nothing against the law for leaving footprints.
Okay, so you're saying that I didn't destroy his camera?
No, of course I didn't destroy his camera.
How do you know he destroyed your camera?
I'll tell you how I know. I woke, I fell on asleep apparently. I woke up just to hear and see my camera going over back right off this precipice. And I heard the gentle but rapid footfalls of a human being going out through the forest the way I came out towards the main road. I followed it as long as I could. It was moving much quicker than I could, and it had...
Are you sure it wasn't Sasquatch?
Listen to me. It's got the sound of a human 2 feet rhythm, not the 4-pod rhythm of a gentle Sasquatch that would go.
So how do you know it was his 2 feet?
Aha! I'll tell you how I know. Because what happened is when I tired and couldn't chase back to the main road, I could tell it was headed back to town. I returned to my campsite, gathered my broken camera and my goods, and returned to Eureka, California, and went into my favorite place of beverage, the Dove Bar. Mm-hmm. The Dove Bar. And Janice Witherspoon was there, and the bartender, and I told her my tale of woe that night at around 9 o'clock that night.
Okay, and then you had something to say. What do you have to say, Ms. Witherspoon?
Hello.
So you told her your tale that you had seen the footprints, and you said seen the arch.
So he explained to me the story the night of March 16th. And he explained to me that someone had went through his campsite, knocked over the camera. Well, a night or so later, this young gentleman here walks into the bar and orders a drink, and he was basically laughing, or excuse me, he was smirking that he had fooled some lunatic guy into and knocked over his camera, and he was just laughing. He had to explain to me.
So you were the bartender who people talk to,
exactly.
And you pretend like you're not listening, but you're listening, right?
Precisely.
So you heard him,
right?
The defendant, Mr. Bagley, bragging about the fact that he had fooled some old crackpot gentleman. And did he say exactly the area and all of that stuff? Did he say where it was and what day of the week and all of that?
He didn't. He said it, that he knocked it over. He also said it was knocked over, and I put 2 and 2 together.
So you put 2 and 2 together, you say, he did it. What do you have to say about that?
Well, to Ms. Witherspoon's account, I did go to the Dove a couple days after the 9 question, April 16th, and I did show up. I had a couple drinks. I guess that's what you do at a bar. I chatted with her. We were really hitting it off. I guess she was a good-looking bartender. And then I started talking about my Saving Sasquatch organization. Something I like to do in any social environment is start to tell people about what we do and try to get some more people interested.
But did you tell her that you had fooled some old crack,
No,
whatever phrase you used?
I did not tell her
sorry,
that
Your
because
Honor,
I didn't knock over anybody's cameras. I didn't.
You have any proof of where you was on the night
Yes,
in question? Where you
night-
were on the night in question?
Yeah, at the night in question, I have a receipt from Eureka Burgers that I got. It's, as you can see on the time on the receipt, says 8:03.
So how far was this from the hunting area, where the forest?
Where that? Well, if he got to, it's about 45 minutes from this forest where I know he likes to hang
If you're
out.
taking your time, if you're in a
How
hurry.
do you know where he likes to hang out?
Because, like I've said, we've met in the past. But as
And you know he's a Bigfoot hunter.
yeah, we know he's
And
a
you know
Bigfoot
there's a
hunter.
forest that he likes to hang out in.
And we know, and I like to save Sasquatch, so I've met him out there a few times before. But, the receipt's for 8:03 p.m.
I was at the bar at 9.
So you got to the bar at 9.
Yeah, I figure it takes about
did.
30 minutes. 30 minutes.
And you were
Well,
at the
44.
Colossal Burger Place at 8.
Yeah, and that's when I got my meal, and I sat down and
But
ate
how
for about
far
20.
is that from where he was?
It's on the complete other side of Eureka. That would be.
But he didn't get to the
couple
bar
hours.
till 9, so that didn't keep you from going by there before you went to get the burger.
Well,
You got to the bar at 9.
Right.
You were getting a burger at 8, 45 minutes away. But it
He
took
said
him a
45.
while
I'm
to
saying it's
search
30.
people and to run through the forest looking for somebody. And he didn't say that this incident happened at 9. He said that's the time he got to the bar. So that's why you got this receipt saying you were somewhere at 8. Could you figure that?
I got that receipt because that's where I was that night.
I think I have
alibi.
enough circumstantial evidence to infer and to reasonably believe that you knocked over his camera and destroyed it. So I'm going to order you to pay him $642. Yeah.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Don't add up. Pay the man.
Judge Mablean has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant is ordered to pay $642.
Artemis, at last the Yeti have justice, and you shall leave us alone in the forest.
Well, I don't know who actually broke your camera, but I'm glad somebody did.
Coming up,
Joe, you have to understand, you were there and you know, you fell.
No.
You know you'd had 4 beers.
How do you know he had
And it was hot.
Justice with Judge Mablean. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. Joe Piloff is suing his landlord, Diane Bernstein, in the amount of $6,000. He says while repairing the defendant's roof, he fell off and injured himself.
This is the matter of Joe Piloff versus Diane Bernstein, suing for $6,000 for injury after falling off a roof. Talk to me about it, Mr. Piloff.
Your Honor, I'm here to collect $6,000 from medical expenses that occurred from doing a side job for Miss Bernstein when I fell off a roof and broke my femur.
How'd you fall off?
I tripped on one of the old tiles that was sticking up.
And why were you doing her roofing? Are you a contractor?
No, I happen to live in the building that she had bought. I'm a jack of all trades, so to speak. I became her handyman doing, menial jobs, electrical work. I'm a mechanic, plumbing. She asked me to do the roof. She came to me and asked if I needed a job.
And how did you fall?
Like I said, I had brought a friend to help me because it was a big job. She wanted it done in a reasonable time. There were some supplies that needed to be picked up across the other side of the roof. I was going across to pick them up, and I tripped. I hit one of the tiles that was sticking up. I didn't see it. It was kind of hidden, and I tripped on it, lost my balance, fell off the roof.
Let's hear it, Ms. Bernstein. He says it's your fault. You need to pay him. Fixing your roof. He fell. Wants your money. What's up?
Well, he's worked for me since I bought the building in 2003. He and his family have been a wonderful, loyal tenants. I own the triplex. I don't live there myself. And, of course, once I bought the triplex, I introduced myself to everyone, including Joe, and he offered his handyman services, which I've taken him up on. He's done a really good job in the past. So I knew the roof had to be repaired.
Okay.
And I was saving up the money to pay for it. I have everything in order, get the supplies, get it done right. I wanted it done properly. I did call Joe and asked if he would be interested in doing it for me, and he said yes, and I was delighted. I was delighted. He said he was going to bring a friend. I said fine. So the morning they show up to do the work, which is about a week after we had spoken, I see him and his friend, and there is a case of beer. There's a case of beer with them. Now, I've never seen Joe with a case of beer when he goes to do a job.
Coming up.
You were there and you know, you fell. No. You know you'd had 4 beers.
How do you know he had
And it was hot.
Closed captioning provided by. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. We're back with the case of Joe Piloff, who is suing Diane Bernstein for personal injury and medical expenses.
Did you ever see them consume the beer?
I did not see them consume the beer. I thought it was very odd and very weird. And then I just said to myself, you know, he's going to do a good job and he's going to be safe up there.
So you didn't say anything to him about the beer?
I did not. I mean, I'm not his mother.
I know that, but
He's
you
a
were,
grown
at that
man.
point, you were employing him to go on top of your roof. Weren't you concerned whether he was going to drink?
My history with him is that he's done great work for me for 10 years. I had no reason to think otherwise.
Okay.
At this point.
But you said you never seen him with a beer. So you don't know what condition he was in when he fell.
You have to understand, 8 o'clock in the morning.
I have to understand.
I would like you. Joe, you have to understand, you were there and you know, you fell.
No.
You know you'd had 4 beers.
How do you know he had
And it was
4 beers?
hot. Joe, how many beers did you have that morning?
I thought that was my question.
Your
But
Honor.
answer it.
So I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say I didn't
I
have any
hope not.
beers. I would never do that.
How many did you have?
I had about 3 beers through 4 hours of work.
How did she know that?
Well, she said 4.
I know.
Yeah.
But she was pretty close.
She was pretty close.
Not
Maybe-
being
maybe-
around you at all.
Yeah.
So you drank 3 beers in how many hours of work?
4
3
hours.
hours of work?
4 hours. From 8 to 12.
That's when you failed?
Yes.
Why are you drinking beer? Working on the roof?
You know, it's a side job. It's me and my buddy getting together a long day of working on the roof. I mean, it's not the first time or the last time that I'll probably do that. That's not a lie.
But isn't that
You know, but I wasn't
dangerous?
I know what I was doing. I wasn't just sitting up there drinking and getting drunk. There's a couple beers, doing work. I wasn't being
not a couple.
negligent.
You said 3 now.
You're right,
Now
you're
you're
right.
going to go back to the old standard couple of beers. You finally
There was a
got
few beers.
past
There was
it.
a few beers.
Yeah,
Okay.
either a couple or a few. Never 4, never 10, never the real number. But we'll go with a few.
Judge Mablean's verdict when Justice with Judge Mablean returns. Promotional consideration provided by. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean.
The law says in the state of California that if you're an unlicensed contractor, that you're not allowed to recover anything from the homeowner. Not wages, not getting hurt, not anything when you're an unlicensed contractor. As a matter of fact, whatever she pays you, she could ask for it back. If you have the skills, take the test, get a license. All right? But I'm not going to order her to reimburse you. That's the order of the court.
Judge Mablean has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim is denied.
I'm not happy with the ruling. I was just trying to help you out with your roof.
I realized you were trying to help me out, and I appreciate what you've done for me in the past, and I do want to work on our relationship.